All right, so in my last video, I promised that I'm going to make a video focused on instrumental payment. So you know the kind of questions you need to ask when you want to pay a property instrumentally. The first thing you want to do is, what is the full price of the property? You don't assume that you know the price. You don't work based on what you have heard people say about the property. You see the person that owns the property, you ask him, what is the full price of this property, so that you know what you are getting into. The next thing you want to ask is, what is the deadline for completing payment? These things sound small but are very crucial. You ask, when is the deadline for me to finish paying this money, the second phase part of the money, if I have to pay half now? You ask those questions. The third question you want to ask is, when prices they eventually increase on this property, for us that are paying, or for me that is paying instrumentally, will the price also increase for my own property? You need to ask, so that you not come back, they start telling you that, okay, since you paid 50%, you delayed, though your deadline is not over, but prices, of course, increase due to accessibility. So the price also has increased on your property. You start dragging here and there. No, you need to ask those questions to be clear, so that if you're not d'accord, if you're not okay with it, then you let the deal go, because it's never a do or die affair. The next thing you want to ask is, what happens if payment delays? If I miss out on my deadline, what happens? Because in some scenarios, you see they might cut 5%, 10% on your initial deposit because you've delayed, especially real estate companies. The reason being that they say you have delayed that property because somebody was about to pay for it and you could not meet up with your deadline. So if these things are not discussed, you come back to pay, and then they say they've cut 5% or 10% from your initial deposit because you never kept to the deadline. And then you start dragging yourselves in court, and it makes no sense. So communication is key. If you cannot meet up with the deadline, reach out a day before the deadline. Of course, there's some people that always understand. If I'm selling a property, you're paying instrumentally, you can reach out right before the deadline. You explain something came up, so I could not meet up. I could not be able to meet up on my deadline, but I promise I will meet up this day or this day. That looks mature, and of course, if it's a reasonable person, I can always bear with you. Always reach out. The next thing you need to find out is, when will allocation and transfer of property be done? So you need to know, when I finish paying this money instrumentally, when will transfer of property and ownership be done? Will it be done a week after I'm done paying, 2 days after I'm done paying? When will it be done? So that when you finish, they do not keep you waiting because you were paying instrumentally. So they need to keep you for a month before they do your transfer and allocation of the property. You need to know these things and you jot them down if you're paying instrumentally. The next thing you want to do is that you want to ask if documentation fee are present in the instrumental payment you are doing. Most of the time, real estate companies here in Cameroon, they sell properties without the documentation fee. So you need to pay some extra fees, maybe for your site plan, for your deed, and so on. So you need to ask, so that you know if the instrumental payment you're doing covers the fee for your documentation. So that at the end of the day, you know, say, I thought that this thing covers. No assumption. Ask clear, precise questions like these ones I am teaching you, so that you always be on the safe side. And the next thing is that always have a plan to pay the full property. So you don't want to go for instrumental payment and you don't have a precise plan. You say, okay, God will provide. Of course, God provides, but you need to have a plan, a good strategy, maybe a business that is bringing in this money, and you have calculated that, okay, if I'm buying this property for 4 million francs, I've paid 2 million francs now. Based on my revenue on my various businesses, I can raise 2 million francs before the end of this month or next month. So you put yourself strategies and plans that you use to pay that money, so that you don't enter into all the problem that comes with doing the first deposit and then you cannot finish the second deposit on time. I believe this helps you. If you see a property that you want to pay instrumentally, you can always ask these questions, be clear, and you see if you can go for the deal or not. This is, of course, your favorite real estate consultant in the city of Boya in the southwest region of Cameroon. You can always get to us through the numbers on your screen, and we can always help you guide to secure properties that increase in value and that meet your budget. See you in the other one. God bless you.